вести народное славянское радио.
Всех приветствую, с вами Алексей Орлов, Народное
Good
славянское
afternoon.
радио.
This is Alexei
И
Orlov,
сегодня у
the
нас
Slavic Radio.
знаменательный день,
And
29
today we have a big day.
2017 года. Мы начинаем первый
We are
телемост,
starting a first
посвященный
conference
теме наследия
dedicated
предков мира
to the
России,
legacy of the
Соединенных Штатов
ancestors
Америки и Германии. Участники
between
телемоста
Russia,
Юрий и Ольга
America,
Шевченко
and
представляют
Germany.
США,
Yury and
частично
Olga
Россию,
Shevchenko
частично
represent
США, потому
the
что это
USA.
русские люди, живущие на сегодняшний момент по делам США. Шерон Маккерл,
Sharon
США,
McClellan,
Вячеслав
USA.
Сейлор, Германия. Надеюсь, что у нас связь будет
Vyacheslav Saylor,
нормальной, все хорошо.
Germany.
И Виктор Максименко,
And
Россия.
Victor
Всех
Maximenko
приветствую,
from
вы
Russia.
можете поздороваться.
You can
Начнем
say
с
hi to
Юрия и
them.
Ольги и тех добрых людей, которых я вижу здесь у нас на экране. Здравствуйте
Let's
вам
start
всем.
with Yury and Olga. Hi, everyone.
Здравия.
Хорошо.
Здравия всем, люди добрые, люди славные во всех уголках нашей матушки Мидгард земли. Сегодня замечательный день.
Что тоже было бы видно, если ты чуть-чуть, когда говорил, камеру как так появлялась. О,
This would be a great
Немножко
day.
так появляться, а потом исчезать. Хорошо. Наши встречи с вами – это всегда особенная возможность, чтобы по-новому взглянуть нам на нашу
The
жизнь.
broadcast of the Slavic
Кто-то
Radio
смотрит.
is always a
И
chance to look at your life in a
благодаря
new way.
Алексею
And today,
Орлову, ведущему
thanks to the
славянского
Slavic
радио,
Radio, its host Alexei
а
Orlov and
также
his team,
его коллегам, мы можем объединиться для того, чтобы начать
we
новую
have
главу
the
нашей
opportunity to
жизни.
start writing
Ведь
a new
сердца народов
chronicle of life,
имеют один общий язык.
because the
И
heart of
поэтому
nations
мы
speaks
начнем
in one
нашу
language.
передачу. Мне
And we're gonna
хотелось бы
start
произнести славление перед началом любого хорошего, доброго дела Сварогу.
with a prayer to Svara.
Благослови дело наше правое,
Bless our deeds, Svara,
змеям своим,
God of
чтобы
celestial
сотворили
fire and
нам
blacksmithing.
радость,
Inspire us with your light, so that we brought only joy
родичам нашим.
and happiness to the
Слава
world
Сварогу.
and our families. Glory to Svara.
Юрий, я хочу поздороваться с другими участниками.
Да,
I
я
would like to say hi to other.
Сейчас, вашу студию, пока мы сейчас поздоровались вообще, сейчас я хочу все-таки поздороваться Шерон. Добрый, у нас уже вечер, у вас еще день.
Good
Добрый,
evening,
по
Sharon.
Москве день, вечер, по-вашему, добрый день. Переведите, пожалуйста.
Good evening, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi. So everyone can see you, and we just want to say you hi.
I'm very happy to be with you.
Я очень рада вас
Шерон,
видеть.
есть возможность два слова сказать перед началом телемоста, обратиться не только к американцам, не только к русским людям, не только к германским народам, но и ко всем народам мира.
Could you please give everything what you are going to say? We want to hear it. All nations of all world would like to hear everyone what you are saying, not only actually that couple countries who are today.
I'll try. We are a group of mostly women and a few men working for unity in the world. We work in a spiritual way, and we work with something that's called the net of light or cosmic web, the largest construct in the universe that connects all life, humans, animal, plant, mineral, everything. we have groups of people meeting all around the world, anchoring this net of light wherever they are, praying, meditating, working for the highest good of all concerned. And we work primarily with a group called the Great Council of the Grandmothers, which are representative of all races and all cultures. We also work a lot with the ancestors of the light.
В двух словах, вот.
Am I talking too loud?
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Vyacheslav, if you are here, please say something. Germany. I can hear Alexei. We had a time change, so I was late. I'm sorry. But you're saying hi, aren't you? Hi everyone. In 5 minutes I'll be here. We also have the contestant from Russia, Victor. Say a few words, please. Hello, Alexei and everyone. I'd like to have more of these conferences because this is the thing that unites me. Я переводила.
Ну что ж, давайте теперь уже начинаем нашу конференцию, наш телемост, и я предоставляю возможность
Let's start our conference
студии Юрия и Ольги себя что-то
with Yury and Olga. Let's start with them.
Я своего же хозяева, мы передаем микрофон, остальных тоже микрофон выключить. Второй участник беседы для того, чтобы дать возможность людям рассказывать свою тему, делать свой доклад, и чтобы наши звуки не вмешивались. Доклад предлагаю не более 30 минут. Согласны с этим? Если да, то я выключаю микрофон и прошу вас начинать говорить.
Good afternoon to all the people of the earth. I'd like to introduce our group of wizards. Richard Bach has a great part in his book. If you don't know the people and you don't know how they do what they do, So today we'll discuss the theme of the legacy of the ancestors. And we would like to thank you, Team Anti-Slavic Radio. And we'd like to thank for this decision to make this conference. Because we were disunited for so many years. So thank you for your courage and for the opportunity. So let's start with the great legacy of our ancestors. And the foreign continent, the great Darius. Let's talk about the people who have the big and great strength inside that was calling to us. In the book of Uvara, the pyramid has a great part of it. The great Darius, for a long time, was lost in the map of the history. For a long time, the great Darius was lost on a historical map. It became a ghost and an unreachable dream to explorers and travelers. In the Russian epics, the Indian Rig Veda, Tibetan chronicles, and the German epic, Celtic and Scandinavian mythology is described the oldest northern land, similar to paradise, where the Golden Age reigned. Since ancient times, that land was inhabited with glorious people, children of the gods. People who have a genetic relationship with them carry a special spiritual force, which is similar to the legendary bird phoenix, that once reborn will play a saving and a pivotal role in the fate of the world. Those who feel this pull are searching for the legendary Darius, the happy island, where the source of life beats, and the touch of it can awake the ancient farm in a human being. The mysterious magic power attracts the open hearts, and spiritual magnetism seizes those who seek the ancient cradle of mankind. The river of time will bring changes with its flow, and the unification of the great race begins. They will be united by ancient wisdom, saved in the hymns and legends, and carved in the stones in temples and shrines, and written in Santia Veda. So, to find the understanding of the great wisdom, we should open our hearts. Let's make our own expedition to the northern coast of America. And let's draw our conclusions based on material that will be revealed today, remembering that the understanding of the great wisdom is given only to those who open their hearts to knowledge, who are drawn by soul and spirit to touch the ancient faith of the first ancestors, and to their works. So I suggest to open our hearts and unite, because this information and this knowledge you can only keep in heart. So let's start writing the new chronicle. When we were exploring the secret places of Russia, like in Siberia or Krasnodar, we started to understand that we had one mission. And when we moved to the American continent, we continued the, the explorations, and we made the expeditions to the places of power, from north to east, and we understood that these great buildings were left by our ancestors to help us. to help us touch and understand that power. So right now, we're going to go from south to west and help us answer the question why these temples were built. In the book The Birth of the New People is written that about the megalithic complexes, about natural objects, and Karl Monk in his book Code describes the same things, because our ancestors held the galactical knowledges in their hands. And when the Sparks Day begins, we will reach our lost potential. Because the places of power talk to us in the language of light. And this is why when we meditate, we see a lot of phenomena, like rainbows or eagles in the sky, because the universe responds. So let's see what interesting the American continent holds. And when the fate brought us to this continent, it resonated with my heart. And it was pretty similar to our Siberia. And I understood that we are still connected to our homeland and to our ancestors. This is why when we prepared this conference, we started looking through different different books, searching for something new, and we found it. Nearby Westport, Massachusetts, is located a large rock with a carving on it, which people used to take as a sketch of a human figure till 1954. The amateur archaeologist Frank Glenn removed the vegetation and found a 6-foot-tall figure in military garb. His right hand rested on the hilt of the sword. In the left hand he held a shield with a coat of arms. English heraldry experts found that the coat of arms belonged to Sinclairs from Scotland. According to Celtic mythology, the first wave of immigrants from Hyperborea came to Scotland, Ireland, and Iceland before the flood. And on those islands also lived mythical tribes, the people of Nemeda and the people of Ireland. Legend tells us that when the flood broke out, the Tuatha De Danann were saved miraculously, because they possessed superhuman ability. All of those islands, like Ireland or Iceland, also the American continent, used to be one country. People try to convince us that Columbus opened the America. So why the Sinclair was on that rock? Scientists couldn't answer that question. Remember the theory. Firstly, the rock is carved and then pulled. Today, these technologies are unknown to us. So here's the description of the countries that travelers explored in 14th century. This is a monastery nearby the Edinburgh. And here on the American continent, we have a monastery of that Prince Sinclair. The interior is really interesting. And how could Scottish know what grows in America? And I'd like to show you the ancient map of that island. We don't have it on maps right now. The story is told by Nicola Zena in 14th century. Why did I started to talk about the Prince Sinclair? The Prince Sinclair had a great mission. They wanted to bring the Holy Grail to the Hyperborea. It was later transferred to Oak Island. It was situated nearby the Scotland. Sinclair, with his knights, went to America, and there they found that grail. We have another interesting country on the map. It is on the eastern side of America. The travelers said that it had the wide streets wider than London's, and they were furs, had lots of gold and silver. They are hospitable and open-hearted. Please remember, in the Vedas it is said that a lot of wise knowledge So maybe today the descendants. Who was first? So we made the conclusion that the Atlantic islands in ancient times were one country and one nation, and they went from Hyperborea. They moved there before the flood. This is what Alexander Koltivin says. Не welcome, ничего не будет. Она ни одной паузы не сделала, я не успела вообще ничего понять. Я такие куски огромные пропускала. In the book The Discoveries That Never Happened by Raymond Ramsey, there is a lot of information that scientists don't have. Because today the Vatican and the Spain's and English council keep it a secret. In the Middle Ages, only Europe was adequately studied, and Asia was flattened, and America was known only by its east coast, where the Europeans were. Only South America was studied, because Portuguese and Spanish lived there. But the others never were there. The sailors sailed all the earth, and they had maps. In 1959, a map of the Turkish Admiral Piri Reis that was compiled in 1513 in Constantinople fell into hands of the history professor Charles Hepgood, and the sensational discovery was made. That map depicts part of South America and the coast of West Antarctica, connected by an isthmus. On the map we can see the familiar outlines of the Antarctic continent, but the sensation is that there is no ice in Antarctica on the Piri Reis map. It is documented that the ancient people explored Antarctic coast when it was free of ice. Ancient sea maps are a field of knowledge where accurate information was transmitted from one nation to another, and it turns out that the origins of these maps belong to unknown civilization. It is known that these cartographic documents were collected and studied in the famous Alexandria Library. They were copied, and geographers of that time worked with them. Before the catastrophe that destroyed the Alexandria Library, many of the mentioned maps must have been transported to other places, most likely to Constantinople. That was kind of a scientific center till the Middle Ages. Until 1882, Charles Hapgood was engaged in studying of ancient maps. An amazing book, Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings, was the result of his work. Hapgood writes that for over 10,000 years before the era of the last glaciation, there was a developed culture of navigation, and the whole world was explored and mapped. All other maps are just copies from that ancient map. The English sailor David Ingram claimed that after a shipwreck in 1568, he crossed America from Mexico to Nova Scotia. In his story of Norumbega, the sailor describes a city where the streets were wider than London's and houses had pillars of crystal and silver. Also, Ingram supposedly saw kings with rubies 6 inches long. They wore silver chains and precious jewels. Pearls were like pebbles, and wherever he turned, he saw gold and silver. So let's make the conclusion that the ancient civilizations had very developed technologies that we do not have nowadays. But why it is terra incognita on the card, on the maps? Because the American continent had the Great Empire on it, and it was called the Great Tartary. The Tartary, Ruthenia, or Scythia, it was the great civilization of rest on the earth. And the British encyclopedia said that the Great Tartary was the greatest empire on earth. All other countries were at least 2 times smaller than it. And not only lands in Eurasia belonged to Tartary, but also lands in North American continent. But where did this huge country disappear? Well, in the 18th century, the Europeans did not have the access to Great Tartary, and by the end of the 18th century, the conquest of its land began. It went from 2 sides. The Russian horde Siberia and the Far East were attacked by the Romanovs, and the western part of the American continent, stretching all the way to California, faced the troops of the newly formed country of the United States of America that emerged from the ruins of the Russian horde empire. After that, the geographical maps no longer had a white patch, with the inscription Terra Incognita, covering most of America. But why were these lands conquered in the 18th century? At the end of the 18th century took place the less decisive battle between Western Europe and Romanov's Russia at one hand, and the last fragments of Siberian American Empire at the other hand. This huge and large-scale war was then falsely represented as the war with peasants and Cossacks under the guise of suppressing the Pugachev revolt in 1773 and 1775, and as the war for the independence of the USA. It was the last major turning point in world history that established a new power in the world. After that, the Romanovs got access to Siberia, and the US and got access to the rest of the continent. And the white patch of Terra Incognita disappeared from the map of America. All that Romanovs got after sharing was Alaska. But by the order of Catherine II, everything about this war was devoted to eternal oblivion and silence. Right after the end of the war and the great defeat of Tartaria, new cities started to appear: Chicago, Washington, etc. And in Russia, Catherine built 144 cities. And this is how winners wrote their own history. We were talking about the ancient places, temples, and sacred places. But let's talk about the cities right now because it's important. Please see this photograph. Take a look at this photograph. It is the end of 18th and beginning of 19th. This engraving is dated of 17th century. What do we see? We see the city. Our ancestors will disperse through all the earth. Please see this picture of New York. We have the whole another story about the New York. Because this city was previously called Novoslavyansk. One of the Setka's expeditions crossed the Atlantic and explored the coast of North America, where they founded the city called New Slavansk. Nowadays we know it as Manhattan, and on the spot where twin towers were built used to be the Triglav Temple. In confirmation, here's a story from Americans about the interaction with the sacred place of New York, where Triglav Temple and later the Twin Towers were. The great spirit of this ancient place of power reached to us. It's said that this construction was a violation of all rules. This place used to be an ancient temple, but it was captured for the sake of profit, and the spirit didn't want it. Yes, this is a mystical story, but it had a continuation. Where did the fragments of the megaliths with the faces of the gods appear from on Brighton Beach? Maybe from the sacred spots that were destroyed? The spirits of those spots keep on protecting these sites. They are willing to help the city to remain a living, breathing, and creative place, the center of self-expression for many people with open hearts. spirits are ready to take a new role as the paradigm has changed. We'd like to show you the towns of Boston, Philadelphia, and this is all the middle 17th century. These cities lay on ley lines. Five or four-layer ancient cities are located on the meridians of the earth. Our ancestors saw the ley lines and on that basis chose places for their cities. A few words about ley lines is important. We know that through the ley lines flows the energy. It is neutral, but it can be used for all kinds of intentions, no matter good or bad. There are no coincidences in the universe. Everything is based on the laws of sacred geometry. The energies of these lines can be charged with love, but you can manipulate our consciousness through them. The nuclear collider is located there. Washington, New York, Long Island, Los Alamos. Let's decodate those ley lines with our love. The person can do anything. The main part is to believe in your strength. The great wisdom of the ancestors. I just want to say that the belief in your strength, it can do miracles. Я даже понять не успеваю, ну боже. We should have faith. Let's move to the southwest and Middle East. The Middle West is primarily the Temple Mounds. The creators of these mounds were called powerful and magnificent. In the encyclopedia, they are listed as the disappeared civilization. The area consists of 12 states in the central United States. Here is the example Spiral Mound, Oklahoma. Head of the Department of Anthropology in University of Oklahoma, Forrest Clements, experienced the strongest shock in his life when in late 1935 he found out about the fate of the largest in the United States archaeological site. Recalling this in 10 years, he wrote that the Great Mound was dug with tunnels and completely devastated with insane haste. Pieces of cedar logs were scattered on the ground. Gorgeous ceremonial items as goblets made of shells, pendants engraved with mysterious motifs, copper discs, curved pipes, and gorgeous statuettes. The most beautiful relics of pre-Columbian America were taken out in wheelbarrows. The survived account books contain records of different deals such as beads from shells 1,200 pounds, beads from pearls 2 gallons. This inventory of the kidnapped in Spyro was only a tiny part of the ancient heritage of the highly developed civilization. Mounds occupied half of the continent. The main temple buildings were pyramids with flat peaks. They were so widespread that the people who created them are now often called the great architects of the temple mounds. This is one of the saved mounds of Cahokia. And this is one of the main spiral mounds. So these carefully designed man-made hills actually reached a height of 5 to 18 meters. On their tops were built temples, houses, and residences. Some mounds were built close to each other and were used as ceremonial centers. Such ceremonies gathered residents of the whole region, helping them to feel their unity. The supreme ruler had the name Great Sun. He was considered a living deity, and according to myths, was a descendant or even the brother of the sun. The Great Sun lived on top of a mount in the capital. It was a large and powerful nation. This one was located in Illinois. Scientists were intrigued because these mounds were built with mathematical accuracy. But what is really stunning is the effigy mounds. This is the Serpent Mound. It is in Ohio and it is 400 meters long. This is the only existing now effigy mound. In these creations, our ancestors left for us the great knowledge, and these objects are sacred. I would like to end this with southeast. When we met Indians, they told us a lot of things. A lot of megalith complexes were burned in the nuclear war. Our ancestors in Arizona, Arkansas, in Arizona was a special atmosphere. The Indians Navajo Zuni are one tribe. Petroglyphs that were created thousands of years ago are captivating with the unsolved mystery, common themes, the similarity of stylization. The heart of all nations speak in one language. Worries. Zuni has a prophecy that the earth goes through a healing now, and we have the opportunity to go back and fix everything. But everyone should do it. Everyone should open their hearts. A human being is a part of the equation, and we can fix everything. The places of power left as the gifts of love to us will help the places of power left as the gifts of love to us will have to awake the ancestral memory. Earth used to have one culture and one civilization, and today we collect pieces of the whole on the basis of the ancient tradition and the ancient faith. Rorik's conclusion gave us confidence in the golden age of unity that cannot be imagined without blooming of the universal foundations of art. These inscriptions unite the long disunited consciousness of nations. The same inscriptions These inscriptions unite the long disunited consciousness of nations. The same inscriptions are in Arizona, Mongolia, Siberia, on the rocks of Tibet, and on the stones of the Caucasus, Hungary, and Norway. They unite consciousness, and should be especially valuable now, when the evolution is just around the corner. You can bring glory to a clan only with the deeds made by community, and you will defend your beautiful Midgard only if you will unite all the clans with the Asian faith, and the Asian connection will be revived, and the ancestors will respond to the calling of the descendants.
Хочется попробовать, как будто бы профессиональная лекция историка.
I'd like to clap like I just into a historical conference.
Может, экран выключить, чтобы можно было видеть вашу студию, и вас, присутствующих, посмотреть на ваши радостные лица. Трансляцию.
But I'd like to see your faces now, so please turn on the camera. We have Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev, and Siberia, and even Tashkent today. I would like to finish the translation, the, the broadcast.
Наша единственная просьба, торопиться говорить, я понимаю, что очень радостно, да, все хорошо, но чуть-чуть помедленнее, потому что когда будет секундный перевод, я чувствую, что придется еще озвучивать, а по-русски, по-немецки, по-английски, может еще на какие-то другие языки, французский, итальянский, испанский, может быть, переводчики просто за тобой не успеют, очень быстро все говорить. Ну, это с нашей стороны было предложение, что присутствующие, что они попозже высказались. Я представляю такую возможность, пожалуйста, рассказывайте.
We've got representative from Riga. Hello. I think that the ones that do not know their past do not have the future. Nowadays, so many people are starting to be interested in the past and the ancestors. The legacy of the ancestors is shown in everything, in the traditions, and I've noticed that all these traditions are really similar, starting from memories with when I wear gloves with ornaments. I wasn't just thinking about the ornament. And right now, when I'm in this, I'm starting to understand them. But all the nations has almost same ornaments. And for example, the challah, even in the bad things that is connected to it, still is good. I'm from Latvia, and in my country, we were celebrating Ligua. We were jumping through fires. We gathered together and we're celebrating. But we unconsciously we were I just want other people to understand why we are keeping these traditions, because they came from the ancestors. And remembering my grandma, she was curing people with herbs. And in all the regions of the world, they had the people that gave their knowledge from one another. And nobody know what the pharmacy is. And our grandmothers and our ancestors, they knew how to heal. And they lived by the laws of nature. They knew how to heal and how to grow something. For example, my grandpa never seeded anything when the wind blew from south. So we are really connected to the ancestors and to our clan. People change, and the earth changes, of course, but not as people do. And all of us bring this ancient memory and ancient power. And then I started traveling with this group, and I started to understand how the places of power work. And what trace that they leave on us, how they feel. I felt the growth of strength, something like happiness, and I felt calm. And remembering my childhood, I just started walking. And my grandma had a huge rock, and it seemed so big to me. And and when I climbed that rock, I felt just the same as I did here. The truth is alive, and it's here. Some usually science denies something it cannot explain, because if it's not explainable, it doesn't exist. It's not it's not the scientific thing. But the heart knows and the heart feels. And this connection of our to our plants, it went through years and years.
Я благодарю за очень интересное повествование. Я хочу Шерон
Thank,
Шерон, еще немного, и мы вступим в диалог с тобой.
thank you for the great story, Sharon. Now it's your turn.
А какая лучезарная, хочу напомнить, что я наблюдаю за разными
I'd like to say that I observe different national traditions, and and I have a few friends from Estonia, Litva, and Latvia, and they confirm that this is our legacy, all of us, because we are really close. And what we have, you have. And the brightest memory is when I spoke to the person that they revived the sauna culture on south and north and on faraway places like Altai or Siberia. And I see that everything there is ours. They speak with the accent, but everything there is ours. Grandmas, grandpas, they I even saw a movie where the folk dancing shows our legacy. Hundreds of people, men and women in national costumes that look like Russians, look like Ukrainians, look like Belaruses. They are dressing up and they dance these dances like color bread, and they move uh, like like planets, like stars in the sky, and that made me really happy. Yes, these are our holidays. Let's continue. Hello, everyone. My name is Larissa. I'd like to say that the work in America in a jewelry store. I felt the energy of that stone. This is really easy and anyone could perform it. So any stone, in theory, uh, stones are not they do not breathe, they do not talk, and they probably do not have the energy. And I'm just a person, and I can feel it. I can feel the stone, the energetic of it. Different stones, different stones have different energetics. And I used to tell people if they liked any stone, I used to tell them about the energetic of it. Any stone has the energy. It can be warm, it can be hot, it can be bright. Some stones, the energy of this stone went through my palm, and my hands were almost empty when I felt that stone, like I had no bones. This is what I felt. But when I traveled with this group, with Yuri and Olga, through to a different places. I wanted to feel the energy of megalith. And megalithic park for the first time. It was, and I went to that huge stone, and the energy of that huge stone, it held me like the actual hug. I was scared and went away from there. And later, we were in the park where was the lake in Nebraska, with a beautiful lake. We had the photo of that stone. I went to it, and why am I telling this? It's indescribable feeling, just. It stays with you. I think lots of people can do the same. So that's down in Nebraska. I saw the flames there, but I stood there and was trying to understand, and those flames were cold. And I felt something like the fire went through my spine. Also, I'd like to tell that we were at it. It's a tower there. It was probably built about 300 years ago, and it's really sturdy. It's built from big stones. And I wanted to touch that. And I just thought, if this building has anything to tell me, then I would like to hear it. So I closed my eyes and I saw the water flowing. There wasn't much of a water, but it just flowed. I thought maybe it was the energy floating to the ground. And the thing I saw, you can't see every day. And later, when we were leaving, I came there again and saw different things. And it was like the energy exchange between Earth and space. This is just so great to travel. We come back home tired, but renewed. Uh, renewed, like more pure.
Наши зрители слушают, также хотят услышать, что еще у вас есть. Пожалуйста.
My name is Sophia, and I salute you. I'd like to say that from the school years, I was interested in why are we here, who are we, and what is the sense of our life. I searched a lot, I read lots of works, and it's been ages. And I found it. The ancient Japanese system of healing. And I had a vision that I fly. I felt the energy. I recognized the city I was flying in. It was St. Petersburg. And I knew it was a miracle. After that, I was in Riga, in the cathedral, listening to Bach. The organ played and the musical was just heavenly. But the biggest miracle in my life was my first meeting with Olga. She's tender, she's kind, she's a good person. She knows a lot of things and she shares her knowledge with everyone. After meeting her, I believed in miracles. I believed in fairy tales. Olga taught us to see and feel the nature in all its beauty. All the little things, little flowers, beautiful stones. I heard from her for the first time that we should remember where we are from. We should remember our clan. I knew from her that the elements exist. I didn't know, I knew about them, but I didn't know they really exist, like the element of earth, of water, and on our travels, we made rituals for this element. But the memory that will stay with me till the end of my life is about the singing stones. Our travel to the singing stones. Big stones are like I climbed those stones, made 3 steps, and I almost fainted. But it disappeared. My friend found a stone for her. It looked like a sofa. and she sat on that sofa. And suddenly she fell on the stones, and Yura helped her up, and she was fine, not a scratch. So the energy there is just incredible. We've been to another interesting place. These are Pyramid Mountain, and we made rituals there where and we stood in circle and were blessing the elements. My friend stood in front of me, was reading the prayer, and suddenly stopped. We couldn't understand what happened, and then when she was able to speak, she said that her mother stood right next to her. And I had the eagle flying above me. Also, we have been to crystal caves. In one of them, we meditated. And it was beautiful. And the Megalith Park now. We've been there a lot of times. We love it. And it was so great. All the stones were beautiful. Small, big, and huge. I came to a rather small stone. I don't know why. I placed my hand on it and I felt like he wanted to tell something. And everyone moved on, and I stood there. And it was incredible. I had a great feeling. And after these travels, I felt so light-weighted and incredibly happy. Even more than happy. Well, I'm grateful to Olga and to Yura for these travels, for staying together with us. Also, we touched the rooms, and after that we saw them in the sky. It was a miracle. We have miracles on every step we take. Also, I wanted to say that it is great that our group found lots of artifacts that proves that Russia, America, and Europe Here we had our ancestors. It is proof, and it is so interesting. So thank you so much for it. I also want to say that though we have the common homeland, miracles happen there where they are believed in. So believe in miracles. Believe in miracles and they will happen. Be happy and help. And God bless you.
Благодарю. Так, кто-то еще хочет с вашей стороны сказать?
Anyone else? I would like to say a little about our travels. In these travels, we always build circles. And we sing in those circles. And this is such a powerful act. When we start singing, everything trembling inside. And you can't imagine the strength of what we feel. And it seems so easy, but still, it gives strength and it works on the inside and on the outside. In a lot of places, we are going through labyrinths. And when I was in the labyrinth for the first time, it was late fall, and this labyrinth, the labyrinth isn't easy to pass, especially for the first time. When you have practice in it, it's still not easy. Anyway, when you practice going through labyrinths, it is just so nice. You concentrate on it. You know everything. What thoughts you have in different parts of this labyrinth. So it is really interesting and useful for anyone. Even for those who do not know what do they need. A lot of us told already about the connection to the clan, and when they spoke, my tongue went hot. This is the main part of my body that feels the energy. And I can't describe how hot my tongue is right now. Also, I'd like to say a few words about the connection to your clan. Before I got to this group, I knew that this existed, but the sense and the meaning, I didn't understand it. I didn't know it. And only when I got here, I understood that that your clan is a great, great power. When my mother died, I started to see her, and I saw her really clearly. I saw her in my apartment on the train station, and I did not understand why do I see her and the others don't. And later I understood that she just comes to me to bring me to reality again. And now I understand that the connection between the family it exists. And recently I understood that before somebody dies from our family or friends, I see signs and I understand how close the people that is going to die is to me. This is all I wanted to say. Oh, no. In conclusion, I'd like to say that I was the last in this group. And right now, here, I understand the meaning of my life and I'm happy. And I wish happiness and love to everyone who is listening right now. Hello, my name is Maurice, but everyone calls me Mira. I wish everyone peace in the whole world. I joined this group for one of the first, and I never miss any travel because it's so great. They inspire me and they fill me up with the energy. And though I'm not young anymore, I go with with happiness, and it's so great to see the beauty around me. My sister tried to take me to gallery once, but I said no. I would rather be somewhere in nature, outdoors. I was born in Leningrad, which is St. Petersburg. I grew up there, and I saw lots of paintings. And I I think I can say that I've read all those paintings since I was in school. And right now, I'd like to say a few words about that tower that was mentioned before. When I touched it, I think that it talked to me because I was sure I spoke to it. There was a girl and we spoke, and I believe that everything I wished for came true afterwards. Nobody said that we were in Washington, and we've been to a church of the Mother of the World. And suddenly we had a vision and we saw Mother of the Earth. Everyone agreed with me, and everyone saw her. And we saw it. And when we sing in circles, we even have different voices. I'd like to wish to everyone health, happiness, and love. Goodbye. My name is Zoya. I'm from Russia. It's been a long time till I've reached the goal. I didn't understand any meanings, and and suddenly I joined the lesson of this group, and Olga told me about the new calendar of life, and she was speaking with such inspiration and such dedication that it was unforgettable. And I was surprised by the energy I got there. And right now it is one of my life goals to be in this group because I don't imagine myself without it. And I never miss any of our travel. It was so beautiful when we got to Shasta Mountain. It was hot and it was hard, but it was so interesting. We wanted to reach the snows there. And and we sang in circles on that mount. And in the evenings, this mound glows with purple light. It is so beautiful and so interesting. We've been to the sauna, and then we cooled down in the ice cold water. And that was a great travel. on that tower everybody is talking about, I saw square. It was it was it was pink, and there was actually a triangle. So all of us felt different things. But after that, I became I became calmer and and more balanced. I felt more steady. So I think we should forgive everything. And I'm happy that I joined this group. And to Olga. And it is so great to travel and to feel these things we feel. And when we come back, there are so many things that we'd like to say to our families, our friends. So please be outdoor, in the outdoors more. And people in America are really love such places we visit. They go there with small kids and and on that mount was such a beautiful view. These are simply unforgettable. And with a great pleasure, we are going home afterwards, after our travel. So I wish you happiness and be healthy, and thank you so much. Goodbye. It's just the great gift of our ancestors to us.
Рожала Натара, она как будто была как истинно рожала. Я прочитала, ну, Татьяна, понимаешь, секс, но рыба с лейкой, баба золотой, я с грибу, сладких пес, сладких сиес, рыба. Студия, и моя наконец спокойно начинаю состояние шаг. Я рад, что пришло время пообщаться.
I'm happy to talk to Sharon finally.
But what would you like to know
Что
about?
мы хотим знать? Она говорит, я знаю много вещей, что мы хотим от нее слышать.
Очень интересная заявлена тема про то, как общаться со своими предками через сеть света.
All of us are interested how you can connect with our ancestors through light. Yeah. How you doing that?
It is not difficult at all.
Это совсем не тяжело.
Once you learn how to work with the net of light, which is easy to do, then you begin to call on the ancestors of the light, the ancestors who, like you, want to be of service in the world.
Когда вы работаете в сети света, вы просто зовете своих предков. И предки очень желают прийти и помочь тем, кто их зовет. Они их слышат.
We call the ancestors of our family line, the mother's line down the left side behind you, the father's line down the right side behind you, and it goes back as far as it wants to reach down the family line.
Это начинается с того, что с левой стороны мы зовем всех своих предков по материнской линии. С правой стороны мы зовем всех своих предков с отцовской, то есть мужской стороны, и они выстраиваются за нами поколениями. Вот так, как идет мама, бабушка, прабабушка с одной стороны, и также дедушка, прадед, прапрадед с другой стороны. Вот сначала это зовется и строится так. Yes.
And we also call on the ancestors of the land.
И мы призываем предков земли, именно тех, кто предки той земли, где находится человек.
And when we do this together, whenever we do this together in groups where many people do this together, then much healing takes place through the different races and tribes and countries of the earth.
Когда мы это делаем все вместе, тогда это появляется большая сила, и она как бы делает исцеление, исцеляет этих людей, их род и эту землю, потому что это объединение с древних корней в виде исцеления.
For instance, in America, because America is settled by people from all different countries of the world, if we do this together with 100 people in America, millions are affected with this.
Если даже в этом участвуют 100 человек, то можете себе представить, сколько предков и поколений идут за каждым этим человеком. Это из 100 человек, которые этому следуют, сзади стоят тысячи, а может это и миллионы могут получиться, может это и представители всей Земли получается, потому что это все объединяется в одно целое, вот эта вот сила родословности и предков. Yes.
We also integrate into this work the Ho'oponopono from the Hawaiian kahunas, the great forgiveness prayer, so that the forgiveness goes back many, many, many generations.
Есть система в Хавайях, что называется
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono, и это когда мы просим прощения, извини меня, прости меня, благодарю тебя, я люблю тебя. Это вот такая, как маленькая, можно сказать, аффирмация, молитва, мантра. И когда вот эти вот слова повторяются, тогда это наступает исцеление. И не только того, кто это делает, но вот всех, что стоит с правой стороны и левой стороны. Yeah.
Whenever we do this work, the first thing we do is we call on the radiant net of light that holds the earth and holds all people throughout time and space, so that we work for the all.
Это когда мы это делаем в сети света, а свет, он есть всюду. И тогда получается такое вот общая целостность, что это, да, это как бы получается поле. Поле как одно целое. И получается в этой сети света происходит эта работа.
It's when I explain it to you, it probably sounds complex, but when we do it, it's very easy.
Может, когда я вам это объясняю, это кажется сложно, но когда мы начинаем это делать, это очень легко.
Would you like to experience it?
Yes. Мы хотим это сейчас сделать. Yes. Все вместе, кто смотрит, кто слушает нас, все. I just call everyone who are seeing us, who are listening to us. So just to do that. Yes, please. Будем, пожалуйста, Алексей, вы против?
Stop driving the car. Don't do it in the car.
Алексей, можем сейчас сделать то, что Шерон делает?
Как говорил мой знакомый, если это идет на благо мира и всего человечества, я всеми руками за.
Ну да, пожалуйста, только Шерон пошутила и сказала, пожалуйста, если вы едете на машине, в данный момент не отпускайте руль.
Okay. Now,
да, хорошо.
I have my drum, so I'm gonna drum and talk. But let's see how it sounds. You tell me if it's too much, and then I won't.
Окей, это начинаем с бубена очищать пространство.
Okay, so how is that?
Great, расслабьтесь.
And now think of a radiant net of light that holds the earth and holds you.
Теперь представьте свет, который идет на вас, и держите его.
Think of it like a lighted fishing net that spreads farther than your eyes can see. It covers everything.
И вот этот свет идет так далеко, сколько ваш взгляд может видеть, и покрывает все вокруг.
It covers all the land on earth. It covers all the water. It touches all life.
И дальше вы видите, как этот свет проходит дальше вашего возможного взгляда, что вы вообще видите. Этот свет как-то уходит за горизонт, покрывая горы, воду, землю и все в этом свете, сколько вы только можете представить.
It is over the earth. It is under the earth. It is inside the earth. It is everywhere.
Свет всюду, он наверху, внизу, внутри земли, и все покрывает. Всюду свет.
Now walk forward and find your place on the net of light and sit down there, rest, and let the net hold you.
Сейчас идите куда вам хочется, найдите свое место, расслабьтесь и держите.
As you breathe in this power of light.
Теперь вдохните силу этого света.
And as you breathe out, light radiates throughout the net of light.
И когда вы выдыхаете, этот свет как бы распространяется, да, вокруг вас. Значит, внутри и снаружи.
The grandmothers say, it is your own heart that lights the net of light. The jewel within your heart sends light throughout the entire net.
Этот свет, который идет из вашего сердца, он как бы освещает все вокруг вас, и вы держите этот свет в своем сердце, и он идет от сердца.
So every time you think of the net of light, you receive light along its strands, and you give light along its strands.
То есть это получается обмен светом. Вы даете свет от своего сердца, и вы получаете этот свет назад. Это идет как обмен светом.
You are held in light, and you are holding light.
То есть мы даем свет, и мы держим этот свет.
And every breath brings more light into your body, and your mind, and your spirit.
То есть все, что мы вдыхаем свет, он ходит всюду в нас, в нашем сердце, в нашем разуме, физически и духовно.
And every time you breathe out, you send this blessing of light everywhere.
И когда вы выдыхаете, пошлите этот свет всюду, куда вы хотите, с благословением.
Now, experience our union together as we together think of and work with the net of light.
Чувствуйте это. Чувствуйте, как вот этот свет идет, как бы это вы и свет, это как union, это как объединение. Вот как вы чувствуете себя в этом объединении со светом. Чувствуете.
And notice now how your body feels.
И определите, почувствуйте, как чувствует в этом свете ваше тело.
And give thanks for the presence of light that's flowing into you and out from you.
И благодарите свет, который заходит в вас и выходит от вас. Вот этот обмен света.
The grandmothers say every time you work with the net of light, you become a walking blessing upon the earth.
Бабушки говорят, что всегда, когда вы это делаете, вы как благословение, вы становитесь благословением этой земли. Вы благословение.
And because there is no limit of time or space in the net of light, we now invite all the ancestors of the light in to work with us.
Нету лимита, не существует его ни в месте, ни в времени. И поскольку этого лимита нету во времени, это означает, что все наши предки, они работают с нами.
And we think now of all those ancestors down our mother's line, and we welcome every one of them who wants to be part of this work.
И представьте, это была левая сторона, материнскую линию, что все предки доброжелательны, которые хотят быть здесь и помогать нам.
You may feel them or experience them standing behind your left shoulder.
Может, кто-то это чувствует, может, да, это вообще у каждого по-своему. Кто-то это чувствует, кто-то это не чувствует, но это происходит, да. Они там есть, если их попросили.
And to them, you say, I am sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
И тогда вот говорится, что то есть это мы как бы просим прощения, если кто-то из вот всех стоящих от этих родов, мы говорим, простите нас, мы любим вас и мы благодарим вас. Да, передаем свою благодарность.
And notice how you feel.
И обратите внимание, как вы в это время себя чувствуете, когда вы это говорите.
Now we do the same thing with our father's side, down the right, behind the right shoulder.
То же самое делаем с правой стороной и предками по линии отца. Также говорим, и извините нас, и мы вас любим и благодарим вас.
And to them we say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
Извините, мы любим вас и благодарим вас. Это получается как благодарность, любовь и прощение все вместе, и по линии матери, и по линии отца. Как бы все роды.
And behind all of these ancestors stand the ancestors of the land where you were born and where you have lived.
И за этим всем стоят предки земель, и тех земель, на которых вы родились, и тех земель, на которых вы живете.
And to them we say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you.
И им мы говорим тоже то же самое. Простите нас, мы любим вас и благодарим вас.
And we welcome all the ancestors of the light who are here now to work with us as we cast the net of light all over the earth.
Добро пожаловать всем нашим предкам света, которые находятся здесь, и мы всех благодарим.
Sending forgiveness, love, and gratitude throughout this planet.
И вот этим вместе с нашими, с нашими всеми линиями предков посылаем всей этой местности, Земле и всей планете нашу любовь и нашу благодарность.
And together now we cast the net of light to the entire human family.
И также мы посылаем нашу любовь и этот свет всему человечеству.
Asking that wherever there is suffering, there be light, and wherever there is separation, there be union.
И просим всех, это июня, но сначала всем, кто страдают, избавить их от страдания, которые они чувствуют, чтобы не было страданий, и просим, чтобы везде, где есть разделение, чтобы это было соединение, чтобы не было разъединений, чтобы это было одно целое, так как мы и есть одно целое.
We ask that every human being, that every human receive whatever they most need now.
И мы просим, чтобы каждое человеческое существо получило то, что они больше, в чем они больше всего нуждаются.
And now we cast the net of light to the animal kingdom, asking that every animal receive whatever they most need now.
Теперь мы посылаем то же самое животному миру. И тоже наше желание, что мы желаем, чтобы тоже вот животный мир, каждое животное тоже как живое существо получило бы все, что они вот сейчас желают, все, что они желают, в чем они нуждаются.
And now we cast to the plant kingdom, asking the same thing.
И теперь мы также обращаемся к растительному миру, чтобы тоже каждое растение, которое живет на нашей матушке Земле, получило бы то, в чем оно нуждается.
And to the mineral kingdom, the same.
И теперь мы обращаемся к царству минералов, камней, ну вот, все минералы, чтобы тоже их нужды были исполнены, чтобы сбылись то, что в чем они нуждаются.
Now we cast to everything that lives.
Теперь мы обращаемся ко всему, что живет.
May everyone in all the world be happy. May everyone in all the world be happy. May everyone in all the world be happy. May I be happy, may you be happy, may all beings be happy.
Шерон говорит, то, что она пела, это только одно предложение, которое означает: пусть все во всех мирах будут счастливы. Пусть все во всех мирах будут счастливы. Пусть все во всех мирах будут счастливы.
Yes, yes. And notice how you feel now. How do you feel?
И теперь обратите внимание, как вы сейчас себя чувствуете. That's so nice practice. Thank you very much. Это такая практика хорошая для всего. Thanks a lot, Namaste.
That was I gave you a very, very quick and simple way to do it. There's more, but that's enough.
That's the best practice. Это самое лучшее испытать на практике. Thanks for your practice. At least we can feel and experience the same. Мы это могли прочувствовать, как это работает и как со светом работает.
Sharon, I have a question. All of our viewers are interested in it, I think. Where did you get that practice from?
Years ago, and it came from the great council of the grandmothers, and they just came into my life as a big surprise.
20 лет назад она начала с этим работать, и это к ней пришло из Великого Совета бабушек. То есть это предки. Да, просто он называется Великий Совет бабушек. Алексей, она ответила на вопрос.
And they've been my teachers now for more than 20 years.
То есть Великий Совет бабушек теперь ее самые большие учителя за последних ее 20 лет жизни.
Очень хорошо. Замечательно. Благодарю. Благодарю, Шерон, за очень интересный рассказ.
И проникновенную, наверное, практику медитации.
Thank you for the story and thank you for the great meditation.
Очень рад знакомству с вами, со всеми.
It is really nice to meet you all,
Такие
especially you, Sharon,
удивительные и добрые, светящиеся люди.
because such kind and glowing people,
Пути на каждом нашем шагу.
you can meet them every day. You're the exception.
Ну что ж, переходим к следующему нашему участнику, если он подготовился.
So the next one is good evening. Good evening, everyone.
У тебя доклад тоже достаточно интересный. Правда, насколько понимаю, всех переводов не получилось. Да? Но ничего страшного, я думаю, так же, как и Шерон, будет специально сделан перевод на германский язык, и все будет хорошо звучать. Сейчас, когда мы общаемся в формате русского языка, а потом будет у нас еще и английская, и русская, и немецкая версия. Вообще у нас интересно получается момент. Смотри, говорим по-русски, переводят на Америку, даже подключается сократская дорога, и может получаться вот такое круглое мышление международное, ну, Россия, Америка, Латвия, Сократская, Беларусь, Германия. Вообще, все у нас страны, так попадают. Вот остается еще Францию, Испанию, Италию, Португалию, ну и, естественно, все прочитать европейский язык. Потому что еще и африканский, хочется какой-то мировой уже диагноз. Пожалуйста, я выключаю микрофон, теперь передаю право управления, включайся, рассказывай. Советский Союз, он возрождается в новом качестве, и мне кажется, что это не возрождение противоборствующих стран, как был Советский Союз и Соединенные Штаты Америки, это образ той самой Родины, о которой мы сейчас говорим, когда у нас не было различений границ, когда у нас была единая общая культура, когда мы говорили на схожих языках, так называемых диалектах, и у нас свободу и уважаем близких людей. Вот это вот очень важно. Поэтому мы делаем такое, может быть, это даже трудно, но очень много важно работать. Ну все, передаю это. Тебе нужно, чтобы я что-то говорил, или что-то. Наследие предков мы назовем
Its legacy of ancestors, and what do we know about Germany? My report of Germany is all about facts. So, what do we know about Germany actually? When people show interest in Germany, most of people recall the World War II most. This is the northern part of Germany, and the island is called Rügen, and it is translated in Russian like Ostrov Ruyan, like Island Ruyan. On the whole Eurasian continent, what is good about Germany is that the Germans are really responsible about the laws, and they always do what the law tells them to. On the Regan Island, our ancestors had gods Svantidi. They worshipped him. What is interesting is how he looks. On the left, you can see the hotel and the restaurant. Lots of Germans used to call their companies restaurants with the Slavic names. I asked them once, why did they call it like that? The Germans that live in London, they say that when they have trouble with stones, they started to so their houses are built from ancient stones. Lots of people, they don't even understand this, but they are saviors of history. Uh, these kind of pictures you can see around all Germany. So these things are everywhere, like sacred stones. This is mid Germany. Germany nowadays is 16 lands, contains 16 lands. We go a bit down right now. There is a castle that is called Staraga. So what this place is? Officially in 1726 on this place was the last execution of the witch. So it was the last chord on the bridge. After that, they used different methods of pursuit. Lots of Germans nowadays are interested in Russia. As I said, Germans are Germany has Slavic days and they celebrate Slavic holidays sometimes. Germany has Ukrainian land also. Many holidays are celebrated throughout Germany. We have Slavic roots, and Germans, they are more Celts or Germans. So, whom Berlin belongs to? People like Zadornov told lots of things. Among them is that Berlin is a Slavic city. It is true to us. This picture is in German, but I want to show you that Germans don't even try to hide that Slavians lived in Berlin. We made this picture and even a video. The Slavic tribes are the ancient inhabitants of Berlin. So Slavians lived here before Berlin was founded. That's our fact. I can read to you different fragments, but I would like you to pay attention to the likes on this video. Half of the dislikes do not agree with the things I have read. Germans had the explains why a lot of people do not agree with that. This is the middle of Germany, and we used to live there. a lot of connection in memory to their ancestors. Even their flag is blue, red, and white. So let's go down to Bavaria. Blue dots you can see on this map. These are the names of cities and villages that has Slavic roots. Yellow are Slavic and German. And reds and greens are just others. I just want to show you that lots of cities and villages still have Germany used to have developed crafts, and the things they did back then and the things they do now are really different. On this building you can see lots of solar signs. In German use solar signs not even knowing what they mean. In culture and tradition, they had a lot of Slavic hats. By the law, it is restricted to show images of swastikas, and it is forbidden. But they still appear in Germany. On the left, we have the picture of president's residence in Germany. And above the building, we have the swastika. On the 5 euros, we also have swastika. This is the police office. I have also the example in the church. On the left, it is a church in Bavaria. And on the right, in the center of the altar, is swastika. It's almost on the border with Czech Republic. It is a small church, and it has this kind of altar. And lots of churches have it. One of the power places of Germany is Augsburg. Big churches in Germany are called domes. And the church this photograph is taken in has lots of swastikas. These are such swastika images that are used in Vedas and Slavic culture. The most powerful image is from this old man. We looked at it and we felt the energy flowing from it. And it was really powerful. And these places exist. And when I talked to people, they told me that on the places where temples used to be, they built new churches. And they used the images taken from the temples. And this is one of the examples. And this picture is on the side. But lots of images were loved forever. I don't show lots of things here just because lots of people go to these places with portals and power. Most of you already saw this photograph, where the Darius is shown. And it is pretty interesting, but we'd like to feel it, to touch it, and to see it with our eyes. And I took this photograph personally. This is the ancient map of Darius. Such proofs still do exist in Germany. But we still use Russian language in Germany to show them that here used to be a great country here, Slavic country. Right now, I want to show you what is going on here in Germany. So the new epoch has started, the wolves epoch. and I can see the mission in it for all of us throughout the Megar Earth to revive the traditions, whether they were destroyed or forgotten. And this is just a little proof that we still celebrate the ancient solar holidays. And the nature reacts to that. After the celebration, we went the sky. We had fires, and we made rituals on the hill. And right there, where we made a circle, we looked above, and we saw the clear sky. So all we do here on Earth, it reflects into space. For our ancestors, nature was sacred. On the Rugen Island, we also had the celebration there. I just want to say that I've been to lots of places in Germany, and what I can say is that even on the islands when it's windy and you can hear the sea, but when you are there, there is a special energy there. And most of the time it was the spiritual center for Slovians. And all the descendants that are interested in legacy of the ancestors, I highly recommend to visit this island. In conclusion, I will say that those who heard of Vedas and lots of people in Germany understood that they have common past with Russia and the common future as well. And lots of Germans, even on political levels, are trying to make contact with Russia. And no matter how strange this would sound, lots of Germans want the union with Russia. And we are sure that the future of Eurasian continent is dependent on the union of Germany and Russia. Whatever the media says, when Germans hear Russian music, and lots of Germans even want to move to Russia. And they are interested in Russia. Genuinely interested. And those who are already interested in the legacy of the ancestors, they know that you can't enter the river twice. I would like to upload right now. So how do you like America? Well, the next one is Victor Maximenko. Good evening. Now I'm turning off my mic and you can start your report. And then we'll conclude our meeting. Thank you, Alexei. Hello, everyone. I'll start the demonstration of my screen. So everything's visible. Thank you. We were talking about the legacy of our ancestors, and I'd like to share what we could find thanks to everything we found in Vedas, and checked all the information that history doesn't give to us. As lots of people already said, our homeland is Darius. It used to be a legend, but our researchers proves that this is not a legend. It is true. So let's see European maps. For example, this one. This is the Behance globe of 1492. Nobody knew that America existed, but everyone knew that on the North Pole was a big island. There is lots of such maps. This is Mercator of 1595. Of course, it is the North Pole. And later we will explain why this really was the Darius. Here is another map by Ortelius Abraham of 1587. It's already America, but take a look on the top of the map. It is Darius. Somehow Asia is the same color as South America. There was another civilization that was called Imperia. And the South America is called Perunia, in the name of god Perun, a Slavic god. And the North America and Africa were also a part of a big empire. As you can see, Europe started to take territories of America, South America. And up to 17th century, the maps remained the same. Daria is on the top, so it is still one empire that will be destroyed by cataclysms or by natural disasters or wars. Our modern world allows us to combine modern maps with the ancient maps. According to legends, after the and here's the temple complex that was destroyed in 16th century. So the legends are confirmed. But if it is so, then Siberia should be packed with Asian artifacts. I want you to pay attention that in Siberia we find lots of And all the researchers lead us to Siberia. Egyptians and Sumerians went from Siberia. You can see that even 25,000 years ago, up to 16th century, the humans looked the same. In the catastrophe that happened 111 years ago, not only Daria was doomed, but also and if that is so, we should have found the proof in Siberia. And thanks to us not being a scientist, three moons, sun, and at least three and it is synchronized for 1,108 years. We were talking about the moon Layla, and here it is, refused by science. Here's the symbol that shows two ancient moons. And now when you see it, you will understand that this symbol is from, and then the moon died. But it still exists because our people saw the energy of that moon. This is why they fixated it with their energy. And for you to understand that this really was a moon, here's a picture of it. The same scheme from Chanel. It shows the modern knowledge of the solar system. This person is Mercury, the woman is Venus. Here's the Mars. Jupiter and Saturn. With the circles. I will remind you that the circles are visible only through a telescope. Here's another planet. It is the Pluto. And it turned out that there were 3 moons, not 2. And when Layla died, Earth still had 2 moons left. In the center we have yin and yang, circled by light. And these are 13 unknown marks, which are the cycle of the moon. This is Egyptian gore sitting on the lily. Eleven is Sarah, 14 is Spot, and the last one is Moon. In the center, we have two dots. These are in Yan symbol. The same thing we have in Siberian calendar system. The same but less famous dish from England, the same scheme. Three moons, the sun, the main. In the cave were found needles that are 40 or 50,000 years old. Here's how science pictures our ancestors, and on the right was described. See those dots? These are fall and spring equinox. Fall is letter D. Here is the precise scheme. Это правда. Here is the right scheme of the birth of chemical elements. To prove that tradition is still there,